There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all. This is a world of capes and lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
Welcome once again to the Capes and Lunatics. I am Phil, and joining me as always is... Let's start down south. That fancy girl. The shrimp and prime rib of our podcast. It's you-know-who.
Hey y'all, it's Lil Hellfire in the house. What's up?
And traveling north to New Jersey, we get, especially tonight, with all the stuff he's spouting, the controversial Mr. Professor
Charlie, the Professor Esser. And when you are a professor, it isn't controversial. It's fact.
I don't know.
Science!
I don't know if we should open that can of worms again.
I love that we're all color coordinated today. Got blue and yellow.
We match our bars.
Because I'm always green. I'm the villain. Like Green Lantern.
He said Green Lanterns are
That
fascist.
fascist monster.
Super connectivity. He said Alan.
We revisited this. We had that conversation several times on World's Finest
I know.
when he would review the Deathstroke book.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Lilith, you missed it. Super connectivity. Charlie says, Alan Moore never had an original thought in his life. Fight me, nerds!
Never has.
I mean, he's not wrong.
I know.
I mean, the nerds can try to fight him, but it's a valid
Why
point.
aren't we bigger with Charlie throwing stuff like this out?
I mean, I enjoy his stuff, but it's nothing groundbreaking or
No.
original. It's just creepy because he's a creepy guy.
Oh,
So-
Charlie said that also.
Creepy.
So,
How?
Yeah, I'm worried about that. Do you think Alan Moore is going to be the next victim of the Me Too? Is he going to be the guy that every 20 women from some con said, "Yeah, totally grabbed my boob," and I was like, I don't want to tell Alan Moore not to grab my boob, but dude, don't want you grabbing my boob, Alan Moore. You're creepy and old and very dirty.
I wouldn't think that it would be women.
No.
No, well, he's married to a woman, and he's got like a secondary woman as his in his life pod.
That's right.
So
I don't think that's where the complaints would come from. That's just me.
well, oh god, I mean, I just hope it's not kids because that guy gets too weird into kids.
Anyway, so
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm assuming the best of the man.
But all I'm saying
And
is
it's
how.
just good old fashioned heterosexual perversions that he's into.
All I'm saying is, how is this show not bigger with you two throwing out statements and saying, "Fight me, nerds! Fight me, internet!" And
we totally need to put that shirt, by the way, on T-Publix because fight me nerds. That's our catchphrase now.
you two standing
Yeah,
side by
Fight Me
side with
Nerds, I
boxing
think
gloves.
would actually be big. And then Alyssa Milano will wear it, and we'll get all the credit for creating Fight Me Nerds. Hashtag Fight Me Nerds. Not that I fault Alyssa Milano for anything, so that she can make things popular. And if we get a nickel off of the Fight Me Nerds because Alyssa Milano gets to be the star of Fight Me Nerds, I'm totally cool with that. To put it simply. It's like Alyssa Milano, sure, you can have the hashtag if you make it popular. That's fine by me. Fight Me Nerds. That was all Alyssa Milano's idea. Her and Alan Moore just came up with that together. And that was perfectly fine by me. So long as we get the nickel.
I love Alyssa Milano. She's been my girl crush since Who's the Boss? Are you kidding me?
Oh, everyone loves Alyssa Milano. I don't think anyone in the world doesn't like.
Doesn't
Doesn't
have a crush on Alyssa Milano.
You're right there.
Okay, right now, no, what I'm going to say is right now, think of one negative thought about Alyssa Milano. You can't.
Her arc on Melrose Place was terrible.
Yeah, but was that her fault or the writing?
Okay. No, there you go. You know what, Lil? But that's good because that proves she's not one of those mind worms from Rick and Morty.
Oh, Lord. We'll save the Rick and Morty for the end of the show. I'm not ready to get that deep. So, Phil.
Do we not have a hashtag Fight Me Nerds t-shirt yet? I don't know. Who's in charge of these things? Because it's clearly not me, because I'm way not responsible to do that.
I'll add it to my list.
Yes. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Phil.
One from Danielle and one from us. It's like, yeah, Phil, get on that.
Yeah. Well, Phil's the guy who said, hey, you know what? I want to create my own network, my own channel. I want to do this. I want to create. I want to be the boss of the stuff.
Secretly, Phil developed a time machine so he can correct this mistake.
Yes. Well, as every Republican will tell you, the boss actually does a heck of a lot of work, and that's why they deserve the tax break. Hope you're getting one, Phil.
Hope those capital gains don't push you to a new tax bracket because you'll take a beating on it.
No, the new tax brackets are lower. He signed today, Lilith. That's forever now. Well,
hopefully they only have 2 more years to put up with it, but we know that's not
for 11 months, and then. Well, here's the good news about it: is that the stuff that actually helps the lower class, the doubling of the deduction, things like that, that all gets to stick because the Democrats aren't going to reverse that. They're just going to tax it all up at the top. Mm-hmm. So sorry, Rob Southgate and your media empire. You're going to have to start paying your fair share again.
That's
I
right.
don't think the rich have actually paid their fair share in America since World War II.
The only way the rich are paying their fair share is with a flat tax. You fat cats like Rob Southgate. He's just sitting there.
A flat tax, Phil. I'm sorry, Phil. You were, yeah.
What? Well, not a flat tax. The whole income tax thing where you get rid of the.
Get rid of the deductions, yes.
Yeah, and you just
you know what, Phil?
The sales tax. The sales tax.
You want to be Delaware? Or is that New Hampshire?
Tax are regressive. So here's actually. So okay, if you actually want the rich to pay their fair share, you only allow deductions for people who make incomes of less than $250,000 a year. So if your income is less than $250,000 a year, you can have as many deductions as you want. Over $250,000 a year, you pay a flat tax on your rate in a graduated scale. And the rich pay their share, the poor pay their share. People in the middle get to do all kinds of crazy tax fund things so that the tax account industry doesn't get destroyed. And then you have utopia. Thank you. Vote for me 2020.
Wait, to bring it around in Futurama, I'd love for a Newtopia to exist.
A Newtopia?
Yeah, neutered Utopia from that Rock Monster episode with the Rock Monster.
Yeah. How do you reproduce in a Newtopia? That was my only question in there.
Everybody get rid of everybody's genitals, and we're happy.
I mean, well, I'll agree with the basic premise. How do you continue this society after the last person dies? That's the only question.
And that's the beauty. Gone. Like it wasn't that, like it never even happened.
Cloning, you clone some more agreeable people.
Well, so you just move to a cloning system. Yeah. But then you get a class survival against who gets cloned and who doesn't get cloned. And then some people are cloned to be garbage men and some people are cloned. And that's the basic Tales of the Citadel problem. You know, that once you're in the Citadel and everyone's a Rick or a Morty, but all Ricks have to do the work, and then all of a sudden you got Rick garbage men, but they're the world's smartest man, but they're the garbage man.
And the rich are paying for the good genetics.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Sinister.
Cockroaches and capitalism. That's all that survives.
Cockroaches. Cockroaches are good and decent creatures. Don't be hating on cockroaches.
I could literally throw out anything, and you'd be like, "Oh yes, I read a thesis about that in college."
Did you see Twilight of the Cockroaches? The most moving tale about an insect ever written. Fight me, Bugs Life nerds. Twilight of the Cockroaches is a beautiful film. One of the best anime I've ever seen. It's about cockroaches that have to deal with the fact that humans are a capricious and monstrous being, and they are gods unto cockroaches. Because cockroaches live in a world where generation to generation they either have slovenly humans or they have fastidious humans.
Oh, yes.
And fastidious humans murder them in genocidal efforts, and slovenly humans are good and generous and benevolent gods. Though capricious still, because they will occasionally smash you if they see you. Because you don't look at the face of God. Everyone knows that. You look at the face of God, it smashes you. That's why, because basically we're cockroaches unto God. But
oh, this is what happens when there's no new TV on TV.
But I'm Charlie probably
there's
didn't
still
watch
new
it.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in 40 minutes, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
But
Gotta like tweet that stuff.
oh, I did hear a theory this week that was interesting. I don't know if anyone forget where I heard it, but someone was saying they did mention the 616 on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So is this their future, or is it like an alternate timeline? Maybe
It's always an alternate timeline, just in case nobody likes it.
Yeah. The future is always alternate.
Mhm.
Only the past is unified. They may come from a centralized unified past, but there's an infinite number of variants from each.
Everywhere.
Although, Philip,
Charles.
the 616 was only the number of the planetoid rock.
Yes, but I mean they threw it out. They threw that number out there, so
they threw it out. They throw that out all the time.
I know.
It's like A113. You know, it's an Easter egg. It's an Easter egg for you stupid nerds, and you can feel all excited about it, but it is as meaningless as if they
Easter eggs and TV shows are for, to get you excited, to get you theorizing, to get you tweeting. Don't be a sucker, Phil.
Species 8472.
Now, speaking of Alan Moore and his completely unoriginal idea,
Oh, jeez.
he actually has stated because 616 was actually coined by Alan Moore and the other guy that he worked with, who is, I don't know if Moore was the Kirby to his Lee or Moore was the Lee to his Kirby. But,
no, I don't think they're all Art Garfunkels. I'm just saying.
It's comic books is run by Art.
Well, I've heard multiple theories on the 616 thing. I heard it's him, or was it about hell and stuff? And...
Yeah, well, yes. Okay, so here we go.
Wait. That's the popular theory I've been hearing. But then recently I heard another theory where they said he did that because Fantastic Four first appeared in, what was it, June 61, but since he's British, he put the month after the year.
It's entirely possible. Either way, what he has said, which may be like Stan Lee going back and saying, yeah, Malcolm X is Magneto and Martin Luther King is Charles Xavier. Sure, why not?
They're both Malcolm X in their own way.
Yeah, exactly. So, but 616. So here's the thing. Because I love to nerd about
Everything.
Catholicism. Well, yes, everything but Catholicism. I did 12 years of this stuff, man. Formal education. So I love when I get to talk about it. So, in the Greek translation of the Bible, which actually predates the Latin translation of the Bible, 616 is the number of the beast. So in the Greek Orthodox Church, you will see that in their book of Revelations, it says the number of the beast will be 616. In the Latin translation, it is 666. And this is important because it actually tells you who the beast is. And in Latin letters, which have numerical values, the number 666 equates to Caesar Nero. And in Greek letters, which also have numerical values, 616 likewise equates to Caesar Nero, which is why you know that the Revelations is actually about the persecution of Christians under the reign of Caesar Nero, which is when it was written.
Oh, yes.
And not about some point in the future when magic gods come down and kill demons and such. So there you go, kids. But that is why the universe, because that is why, and for what it's worth, everyone says, oh, well, they recently found this Bible in an archaeological dig, and they have the number at 616. But actually, in Greek Orthodox churches, it had been 616 always because they spoke Greek. So,
that sound reminds me of 0 Hour. That often don't Phil.
Anyway, but yeah, but that is why so yes, probably Alan Moore did it because June 1961 came out the first Fantastic Four, although it probably didn't get released in England in June 1961, so that makes no sense either. Later. Yeah, but maybe he picked that number for that. Honestly, he probably picked the number completely at random, but then someone told him, "Oh, that 616," because some other nerd came up to him and said, 616 is actually the number of the beast. Everyone thinks it's 666, when it's actually 616. And it's like, oh, that's good because I hate Marvel right now, so that'll be perfect. Because I'm doing my Alan Moore voice, and I've never had an original idea in the world. And since you are a nerd who's come to me with this original idea, I'm going to say that's why I did it. Thank you, nerd.
Charlie, what country are you living in these days? Why are you confusing me with facts?
You're fired.
Seriously, leave my Alan Moore alone. I said it's not original, but nothing's original anymore. I like his presentation and I like his ambiance of the stories that he tells and the way that he tells.
Yeah, I just think he's going way too far down the rabbit hole of
He definitely has fallen into his own hype, but as one does.
Honestly, ever since I read the whole thing about the Dorothy Gale and Alice, and I don't know who the third girl was, meeting at some whorehouse in London. And it's like, oh, we were all sexually abused. It's like, really, Alan Moore? That's what you think of storytelling, is that it should all come from sexual abuse? Maybe he was sexually abused.
Okay, let's bring it.
I don't know, but maybe that's his thing. Maybe that's his thing, is that he was sexually abused by some priest in the Catholic Church or Protestant Church, because not for nothing, they did it too.
Where?
Yeah. You put a man in a collar and tell him, why don't you go talk to the young boys for a minute? It's going to attract a type of person that you don't want being in that line of work.
You're being censored. Phil, you're so funny.
I'm just saying.
Messing with our ad revenue, Charlie. Knock it off.
What, priest? But your precious John Byrne doesn't have issues. She-Hulk.
No, John Byrne has nothing but issues. I don't think I've ever. People will say, but John Byrne comes up with original stories.
But okay.
At least he's original in his perversion. I won't say he's original in his perversion. Perversion is pretty much established. That's hard to be.
It's the entertainment industry. It's hard
to have an original perversion. But I think John Byrne comes up with more interesting ideas than Alan Moore does. That's my take.
So Phil, you sent me a link about Deathstroke being off limits to the Arrowverse again. Well, I love Ben Bennett. I love Joe Manganiello way more, so I'm happy for this news.
So what? They decided they want him back in the movies again, so he's off Arrow again?
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine, because, let's be real, I enjoyed the return of Deathstroke, but it wasn't as great as it could have been. And you know how Arrow likes to run characters into the ground if they show up too much, i.e. Felicity. So,
yeah, but does that mean he kind of went off to find his other?
Awesome. Subsequent times for poop.
He went off to find his other son. So what? They're never going to resolve that storyline then?
They're going to resolve it with his son showing up. They just said Deathstroke.
Oh yeah, true.
And we already have possible future.
But not for nothing, Lilith. You know they're going to Boba Fett Deathstroke.
No. They're not.
No, they're going to Boba Fett him. He's going to have 2 lines before he gets thrown into a Sarlacc pit.
No, he's gonna have his own movie, and
no, he's not gonna have his own movie.
Or is he gonna be is he gonna be in The Batman or something?
No.
He's not. Lilith, you do know this is Warner Brothers, right?
They're
not gonna make a Deathstroke film. He's not gonna be in the. He's not gonna be the leader of the next Suicide Squad. He's not gonna be.
I would never want that for him because I don't care for the Suicide franchise, and I definitely damn sure don't care for this new Batman franchise they're trying to set up. So
I know, but not for nothing. Where else do you put a Deathstroke?
We're gonna have we're not gonna have Suicide Squad. We're gonna have a Legion of Doom.
Yeah, you're gonna have a Legion of Doom, and he's gonna be the Boba Fett.
He's not gonna be the Boba.
He's gonna be the Boba Fett. They're taking him away from you on Arrow just to make him the Boba Fett.
They're not gonna Boba Fett him because they can wring too much money out of him.
No, first off, no. He's a poor man's Deadpool.
Oh!
Other way around.
Okay, I'm sorry. Deadpool is a rich man's. What's his name again? Deathstroke. Thank you. Deadpool is a rich man's Deathstroke.
So let's just get this straight first of all.
Doesn't matter whether. And again, to go back to Alan Moore, it doesn't matter if your idea is not original. It's all about whether or not you make it profitable.
We need another.
And Alan Moore, we need another retreading of other ideas others have done before. He did it much more financially equitable.
We need another.
Profitable doesn't mean it's quality, and I prefer Deathstroke, the Terminator, original '80s cheese and all over even Deadpool. Sorry, Wade's World listeners.
Talk original '80s Deathstroke. Talk about touching kids.
I have no idea what that refers to.
He was. They basically implied he was sleeping with Tara, who was like underage at the time.
What?
Yeah.
Who is this? Roy Moore? Did he get Tara's mom's permission? Is that what he thought it was okay?
He wasn't riding a horse, which brings in all the 14-year-old girls. Anyway, as I was saying, we need another debate episode so you two can argue Deathstroke versus Deadpool.
I'm conflicted, but I still love Deathstroke more.
Oh,
break the fourth wall.
Look, I'm not a big fan of either particular character, but I will tell you this: if I said, "Hey, did you hear about that new character, Deathstroke?" and say, "What, you mean Deadpool?" No, Deathstroke. He's the DC version. I said, "Oh, so he sucks?" It was like Deadpool, but he sucks. No, actually, he predates Deadpool. Like, yeah, but is he better than Deadpool?
Anything they're putting out for
Deadpool in any conceivable way.
Yeah, he's a clown now, but it is what it is. You some people like tomatoes, some people like tomatoes. It's all good.
No, all I'm saying is that as a marketing perspective, Deathstroke is basically being murdered slowly by the Warner Brothers.
So is Superman. So is Batman. Tell me something new.
Yeah, I know. Except that he actually had a life on the Arrowverse. And now they said, no, we will take him and make him our own. We'll make him one of us, they said. And now they're going to
bring him back in season 7 because ratings are going to be poop again. They're going to be like, hey, we need this guy for one episode. Can we have him? And he'll come back.
Well, after they've thrown him into the Sarlacc pit, I guess he can go back to the TV show. But basically, after Legion of Doom, then after he says 2 lines and gets thrown to the Sarlacc pit.
I told you, they're not 2-lining him, Charlie. They're going to put him in like in a Justice League movie or a Batman movie. They're going to spin him off into his own movie.
How many lines did he have in
milk
Justice
that
League?
cow for all it's worth.
How many lines did he have in Justice League? And did Lex have more lines?
He was in an end credit scene, so how many lines do you think he was going to get?
But did Lex have more lines?
Actually, he did have more lines than Lex, didn't he? Lex said the 1 line, Deathstroke said like 3.
Something like that, because
Okay, so maybe there's no Lex in the Sarlacc pit. That'll be fun.
Something. Yeah,
That
you
would
have
be
to
exciting.
Lex.
in your
If
face,
Lex
Charlie.
is thrown into the Sarlacc pit.
In your face, Charlie. In your
Exciting.
face.
If DC could come up with an original idea and throw Lex into the Sarlacc pit and let Deathstroke be the Lex of the Legion of Doom,
We don't need a Lex.
that would be fantastic.
We
We don't need teenage Lex
We
Luthor.
don't need Lex, period, in this universe, especially not in the form of Lex Jr. Like
Baby Lex, yeah.
Oh, so should we go with the Gorilla Grodd theory?
Something. Anything's better than the Lex.
I mean, I love Gorilla. Has Gorilla Grodd been introduced yet?
Not in the film, but in Flash.
Yeah, I know. Grodd is so cool in Flash, by the way, and his return in Legends of Tomorrow. Oh my gosh,
damn!
So amazing. That was so amazing.
Now he's time traveling.
And Gunther has an Infinity Stone now, so that's cool. He's got the Time Stone, apparently. You can go back and forth. Is that actually the same actor who played Gunther on Friends, or is that a different actor?
I think so, is it?
No, he's talking about Neil McDonough? Is that who he's talking about?
Yeah.
That's not Gunther from Friends.
He looks exactly like
Only
Gunther
I can
from
force
Friends.
choke you from a distance, Charlie.
No, I'm sorry. Two chubby white-haired men with round noses.
Racist!
All white people look the same to me, Phil.
Yes, sir. Get them. Fight them, nerds. Or social justice warriors. Sorry. Either or.
How do you know?
Social
Hey, you
justice
can't tell us apart. How do you know I'm not Tyler? Come on.
But my point is this. I don't trust DC to do anything interesting with Deathstroke because I don't think anyone except for the original Teen Titans cartoon series did anything interesting with Deathstroke. In the cinematic version.
That's right, yes, sir.
That would be Teen Titans, the original. And Young Justice.
Oh, did Young Justice have Deathstroke? Okay. I'm sorry. The cheap
everybody knows
of Teen Titans called Young Justice also did
this. Did he just call Young Justice cheap?
Wow.
It's not an original Teen Titans.
Y'all.
He just called.
I mean, it's cheap making kids watch it and buy the merch. Ooh, hooray. I mean, that's the standard. That's why it's been on for Cartoon Network for so long, and other good things have been canceled. Because, the merch doesn't sell. Because it's aimed at a more mature audience. Just saying.
Wait, you talking about Teen Titans Go now, or?
Yeah, I have a real grudge against Teen Titans Go. You can tell me it's good all you want to, and it has these great fourth wall breaks and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's a different genre. It's a comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like Batman 66. It's not
not for everybody.
It's not meant to be taken as a drama. It's meant to be taken as a comedy.
Well, I don't find it very funny either.
I mean, honestly, what I'll say is that the original
for that show.
Look, I just don't. I'm just not a huge fan of Young Justice. First of all, because they didn't call it Teen Titans, so it's like, what are you running away from? Because it's not like they were even running away from Teen Titans Go then. They were just running away from the original Teen Titans.
But they weren't. They were just trying something new, and they wanted to explore a different Earth in these different configurations, which is why I appreciate it. And they had the best Aqualad, hands down, interpretation with Caldor. Lots of really cool things that they explored, but to each their own. I'm excited for season 3.
Young Justice, so I really shouldn't criticize it too much.
That's right. Don't you dare insult Young Justice, Charlie Esser. Don't you dare.
Although I'll tell you this much, the Facebook, because I had to unfollow them today because the Young Justice Facebook group I was following was getting weird into like anti-vax stuff and weird stuff. I was like, okay.
What kind of
I told you because we did comic. I don't know, it was like we need Young Justice or something like that. I don't know. It was some Young Justice fan group that I had followed because I had a cute meme. And then all of a sudden I'm noticing oh, that's a weird meme you're posting because that has nothing to do with Young Justice and nerds. And It's probably a Russian bot, which is why I unfollowed it. Because the Russians just want. Because not for nothing, the Russians just want us all to get whooping cough and die. That's what
all of our iron lungs. I agree.
Yeah, don't trust the Russians, man. That's my motto.
And Charlie Esser.
Yeah, fight me, Russia. Fight me, Putin. I've got like 2 feet in the guy. He's like 4'6".
Lilith's like, fight me, nerds, and Charlie's like, fight me, comrades.
I know, he's upped it.
I will fight Putin. I'm not afraid of that man.
Family Guy just did an episode about that.
Yeah, but not for nothing. The guy's like 40 years older than me. He's like 2 feet shorter than me. Yes, he knows judo.
And you people thought Trump was going to start Everyone thought Trump was going to start nuclear war.
Down, Charlie.
It's going to be Charlie Esser who starts nuclear war.
I can't start a nuclear war. I don't have any nuclear weapon.
No, you're gonna piss off Putin, and he's gonna start his.
He's gonna bomb me specifically.
Yeah, December 23rd, when New Jersey is a crater.
Yeah, my bad. Okay,
when we're all irradiated on the East Coast. Thank you, Charlie.
Because I know Vladimir Putin is a follower of our show, so I'm sure he's watching now. Right?
Send your hate emails about nuclear fallout too.
So all I'm saying, Vladimir, what you're watching right now, is don't go blow up New Jersey. Prove yourself a man and fight me one-on-one, mano-a-mano. Okay? And if you're too much of a girl, as a derogatory term, which I normally wouldn't use, but I think you will accept it as a derogatory term because that's just who you are.
I don't mind Putin. I actually like Russia, and I want to be able to visit, so let me just throw that out there.
Don't go to Florida, okay? But I'm just saying, man, come
Florida after March. I don't care.
Fight me, Putin. That's all I'm saying, man. Mano. No holds barred, man.
I think we could sell those t-shirts.
No blades. I mean, I just think that's just fairness. No blades. But if you want to bring a pair of brass knuckles, I'll fight with a pair of brass knuckles, man. I got pistol whipped once. It's annoying when little men pistol whip you. It's like, what are you trying to do?
Oh, the Life of Charlie Esser. We have to get the memoir. That's the merch right there, Phil.
We have to just 1 week just
we have to interview Charlie. That's
exactly. It might take more than one episode, but yeah.
It's gonna be a special, a year-long special.
The audio
I haven't done that much, man. Yeah, I played a Nazi. I did a movie. I got pistol whipped by some homeless guy. Stuff happens.
Well, to be fair, Charlie is from Detroit.
I am from Detroit.
So There you go.
Citizens of Detroit. That's at Lilith Hellfire.
Nerds.
No, there's not a person actually from Detroit who's gonna take any offense at that. It's like, yeah, man, we're from Detroit.
Happened to me too at the bus stop. Yeah.
Okay. Detroit is like the one city that actually embraced the idea that we're a pretty messed up city. Yeah, we're totally messed up. Yeah, not for nothing. We have Devil's Night, and we all know we have Devil's Night. And we discuss Devil's Night, and we exist in a world of Devil's Night.
All right.
What you guys all call Mischief Night.
Exactly.
We call Devil's Night.
The t-shirt just has to be...
Mischief Night and Devil's Night is that everyone else eggs cars on Mischief Night, and in Detroit, they burn down the city. Because it's Devil's Night. Because it's the night of the devil. So, yeah. No, Michiganders don't. We don't mess around, man.
The T-shirt just needs to be your faces, and it just says "Fight me," and then fill in the blank. Because you two are trying to take on half the internet.
Yeah, the internet is pretty much nerds.
Oh,
but clickbait.
Let's
run on computers. Who do you think's going to be on it?
I don't want to interrupt this lunacy with like entertainment news, but Lilith, did you watch the Ray episodes? I actually watched them last night.
I watched 3.
Okay.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
No, this is the DC Ray, not the Star Wars Ray.
Yes, RAY.
Okay, yeah, because you know what? Be
Confused.
specific, because no one actually follows anything DC. So, not the way they follow Star Wars.
Okay, I'll give you that, but I
So
don't.
if you
I'm not
typed in
Star Wars
RAY,
But we said
in
Thursday.
Google right now, it's going to give you Star Wars and said, "Did you mean Ray with an E?" It's like, no, I meant Ray with an A.
Well, anyway, on the CW Seed app, yeah, there were 6 episodes of the Ray. They're each like 5 some minutes, so the whole
Dude, man up in 10-minute episodes.
What?
This is also on Earth Swastika, or is it?
Yeah, it's kind of like a prequel to the crossover. So
Yeah, Red Skies and all.
there's 6 episodes, and the whole thing's like a half an hour. So
It's like Vixen.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
Do Ray and Citizen Cold kiss?
Citizen Cold's not even in it. No, it's like a prequel. I guess it's before he met Citizen Cold.
Where he comes to actual.
Well, no! Don't tell me it's a prequel and say it's before he met Citizen Cold. There are a couple.
Well, no, it's he's originally from Earth 1, so it starts off with him on Earth 1. He gets his powers, and then he's visited by, well, I don't want to give it away, but someone from Earth X, and
Oh, so Ray's from Earth 1 and then he goes to Earth 2. I've only seen the Legends of Tomorrow episode. Yeah. I only saw the good one. So
okay, if that's what you consider the good one.
Nah, it's a denouement.
Tainted. And I do mean your cow.
What?
My cow.
Are you
talking about?
Felicity.
No, yeah, yeah. You mean the whole it's my wedding. No, I want to have a wedding now too. Yeah, that was messed up.
Wait, lady privilege.
I mean, it wasn't for me, but I'm tired of the 5-minute cartoons. I understand that animation is supposedly still a very expensive situation. Mm-hmm. But just commit to 12 minutes. That's what most kid cartoons are anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Commit to it.
Yeah.
Give me your time.
Especially with that Constantine one coming.
Now I'm very worried, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so, I've never watched any of these 5-minute cartoons. I think they did that once with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they were like, yeah, no one cares.
Yeah, they're free on the CW Seed app.
Are we getting paid by CW Seed app? Because you said that like 3 times.
No, we're not getting paid by CWC, but if they would like to.
Where's my boy?
I think we talk too much shade about.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk something positive about Warner's after Charlie poo-poos all over it.
Hey, look, if someone wants to defend Warner's, please feel free.
If you need help with the Deathstroke movie, just give me an email. Just give me a call. It's fine. I got some ideas. And if most shirtless, let's get
Let me just tell you this.
Mike style.
I think WB will call you after Marvel calls me for the Fantastic Four movie. Okay.
You call me for the Fantastic Four TV show. So you can have the movie. I'll take the TV show. It's fine.
Hey, just, if they call you for Fantastic Four TV show, I'm fine with that.
He's proposing.
No, I'm just saying. Fantastic Four gets made, man. That's all I want.
Yeah. Me too. They need to stop being the laughing stock of.
Although I still want a Harvey Elder in the Rawhide Kid versus Secret Invasion film.
Just keep dreaming or write your fanfic, Charlie. That's pretty much your 2 options at this point.
Yeah, I know. Well, no, I think Rawhide Kid's Two Gun Kid or Kid Colt isn't good. We're going to get a Rawhide Kid. We're going to get a Two Gun Kid or a Kid Colt. You may get Rawhide, Kid Colt, and Two Gun all together with Red Wolf. I just want Harvey Elder in there. That's all I'm saying. Because the thing about Harvey Elder is, yes, he's a throwback to make a lot of Loveless. But what's important about Harvey Elder is he doesn't hate the world because he's short. He hates the world because he's ugly. And you can have Steve Buscemi play Harvey Elder.
Oh, yes.
And he would be just as cruel and miserable as the Mole Man as Steve Buscemi. I'm not saying Steve Buscemi is ugly, but he's like Hollywood, not attractive.
I think we know what it is. He won't even get mad at you. He's said it in a lot of things.
Yeah, but I'm saying you put Steve Buscemi in and give him like a little fake nose and stuff, and we're like, oh, my nose is big, so I'm ugly, so no one loves me. Like, no one loves you, Harvey Elder, because you're a misanthrope. Because you're actually kind of rude to people and kind of presumptive about your place in society, and you think that sexual gratification is a commodified thing. So if you give someone a giant diamond, they're going to just be with you. And that was why Harvey Elder and Ben Grimm were such a great combo. Because Ben Grimm, clearly just as monstrous, even with the beautiful blue eyes. But Ben Grimm is a freaking extrovert. He wants to be with people. He wants to be in human society. And so human society accepts him and loves him. Yeah, he has his problems because he is still a freaking monster. But he doesn't freaking become a mole man who, in the worst case scenario, has a big nose and is short. And it's like there's a million big nose short women in the world. And, I was watching The Incredible Shrinking Man on Svengoolie the other day. And there's a whole like subplot in there that I didn't realize was in there because I hadn't seen it in years, where he like meets a dwarf woman and falls in love with her. Now he's still married, by the way, so it's all crazy freaking Alan Moore kind of situation. But he meets this dwarf woman, and he falls in love, and then it's like but then he keeps on shrinking, and then he's like, it's not that anyone doesn't love him, it's that he doesn't love himself, and that's the mole man. The mole man can't love himself, and that's why he's unloved. Not anyone else's choice in the story.
I told you I want Danny DeVito for Mole Man.
No.
Yeah, that's fine.
No. Rhea Perlman does need her check, so you know what? Yeah.
That's right.
They're divorced now.
Are they divorced now? I forget. What's the situation? They are divorced. Yeah. That's too bad.
Too much limoncello, supposedly. But
yeah, well, one of them probably has a drinking problem. I don't know who, but.
Yeah, but no, really bad. I love them.
I said Danny DeVito. This maniac over here was saying Vern Troyer.
Is he still alive?
Of course, Vern Troyer's still alive.
Mandela effect.
Oh, yeah, probably. I feel like
dwarf people live the same amount of time as normal people.
Yeah, but he's still in Hollywood lifestyle.
I mean, there's only so many jobs for freaking. Not for nothing.
I was just wondering. That's all.
No, there's only so many jobs for freaking dwarfs. Freaking what's his name? Trask takes most of them. The guy from Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
it takes most of them, and then every so often they'll just shrink down a normal sized actor for it. So it's like fudge you people. Here's what I will say: if I ever get to be a Hollywood director, I will never cast a shortened person as a dwarf character or a short character. Because it's like, dude, people need work, man. It's like I would never, not for nothing, I would never cast like a person in a wheelchair as a person who wasn't in a wheelchair, because there's wheelchair actors who need work, man. And it's like, and not for nothing, I don't care how much you know about being an actor. Like, you don't know what it's like to actually be in a wheelchair.
Oh, yes.
The only way you would cast a walking Charles Xavier, in my mind, is if you actually like are going to have him stand up in the show, and then you might just use CGI. Yes. You know, not for nothing. Have an actor who is in a wheelchair be Charles Xavier, but then when we want to do the walking scenes, we're going to do that CGI.
Bazinga.
Speaking of Marvel,
do it all the time.
The best comic book I read this week was Marvel.
Oh, what was that?
Tales of Suspense number 100, but it has to do with...
Oh!
Yes.
Yeah. I love me some Black Widow. I really do. I haven't really been a fan of this modern version, but I like that they brought up Hawkeye and they, Bucky and stuff. So it's just like, yeah, I'm here for that.
So the person on the roof fell off
the roof.
Did you think that was Black Widow? Did you think that was Winter Soldier? Who does Hawkeye see on
I thought it was supposed to be him thinking it was Black Widow, but it was actually Winter Soldier.
Exactly.
Yeah. You really think that Hawkeye, with the eyes of a hawk, is going to mistake Winter Soldier's body
it's not a mistake
for Black Widow's body?
Yeah, but how far away is it?
Batman, the Nolan trilogy. It's what you want to see.
Yeah, and how far away is it? I think he just saw a figure with long hair, and he was just automatically assumed.
Yeah, and this is also the man who saw the flash of green in Bruce Banner's eyes.
Well, he told himself that.
Hope springs eternal. That's how I took that. So.
Yeah, no, I took that to be that was at least a woman with long red hair. I don't think that was supposed to be Winter Soldier.
Mary Jane? Mary Jane's coming?
Face a tiger.
Possibly, honestly.
Anything's possible at this point.
They need to bring that. They need to bring that marriage back. Fight me, nerds.
Fight on that. Except
it's coming, man. It's coming because you know what we forgot to talk about, Phil, on Superconnectivity?
What?
Red Goblin.
Oh yes.
And, well, no, but the point is that the entire Marvel
Red Goblin.
Red Goblin is theoretically, honestly, it's probably the demon-infested Hobgoblin. Remember when they did
which one?
Inferno, and Hobgoblin actually became a Hobgoblin.
He was bonded with a demon, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's probably who it is, most likely, as opposed to Norman Osborn.
Yeah, but the human guy was Jason McAvoy when he was like separated from the demon and eventually killed. So unless it's just the demon, I don't know.
Maybe it's just the demon.
Well, he's all red and demony looking. People are like, "Is there a connection to Mephisto?" Mm-hmm. Yes, bring the marriage back.
Well, not for nothing, but that's the thing is that demons are always associated with Mephisto.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're not associated with Mephisto, they're still associated with Mephisto. And what I would say on this concept is, yeah, I would wager that, what am I saying? Mephisto is going to reveal the basic lie of the whole rebooted Marvel universe.
Thank you very much.
Like everything really ended and everything began, and everything ended and began again 6 other times before I finished the sentence. He says, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, you don't know what I mean because you're not a cosmic entity. Because you're a freaking Spider-Man and a pathetic little dwarf on the slide of the universe. The only one who truly knows what is real and what is not. Do you know who the only one who truly knows?
It's either Franklin Richards or the Molecule Man.
No.
Frank from Bayonne.
No. My one true favorite character in the current Marvel universe.
Gwenpool.
No. Boulder. Emery Schwab. Emery Shalhoub. Emery Shalhoub, who is the indestructible man, who when everything ended was left floating in the cosmos, who watched Dr. Doom reform the universe, who watched everyone do whatever the heck they were doing, and he's been there. And then when the universe got reformed, he just crashed down onto Earth somewhere. and wandered his way back. And at some point, he's going to be, no. What happened was, so Iron Man and Captain America fought, and then they both died, and then the planets got smashed together, and then Doctor Doom recreated a bunch of stuff, and then, it was on his universe, and I'm wandering around his universe, and that was annoying thing. And then just has thing. And then, of course, that all got destroyed by the Molecule Man, and then we wound up back here, because he doesn't have a lot of powers, but his one power is he's completely indestructible. And that, I think, it's just like he's indestructible. So he's the one guy who would have survived.
Or the Red Goblin.
The other guy who might have survived would have been Mr. Immortal. A bolder and Mr. Immortal.
What about Deadpool? Deadpool could remember.
No, Deadpool died.
So,
if you do enough damage, he can do the fourth wall break. That doesn't mean he gets to do a fourth wall break. So the thing with Deadpool is he doesn't have an intrinsic power to survive. Although, you know who did survive, Phil?
Who?
Volstagg.
Now you're just throwing out names of all your favorite characters.
No, but in Thor, recently they showed, we went to old Asgard and we fought up there, and he was all beaten up and smashed around the rocks, but he's not awake yet, but he's still alive. He's getting better. He's healing. He's going to be so hungry when he wakes up.
Or the red goblin can just be a regular guy. He's trying to look like a demon, like one of the hobgoblins or something.
So what was
early
the
possible
book you read, Phil?
What?
What was the best Marvel book you read this week?
Let me see. I like the Spider-Man, but I think Charlie would have to agree with me. It might be Marvel 2-in-1.
Marvel 2-in-1 was really good. Marvel 2-in-1 was really, really good. I'm torn between it and Doctor Strange.
I'd say Marvel 2-in-1 over. I mean, Doctor Strange was good, but I'd say Marvel 2-in-1 was even better than Doctor Strange.
Here's what I'll say: is Marvel 2-in-1 was better because they had such a perfect Doctor Doom, being Doctor Doom, and just putting the lie to, I am a hero now. And it's like, no, you're not a hero now. You're just saying you're a hero now.
Here's this thing I stole back. Yeah, but I'm a good guy now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's no selling point to Doctor Doom on that. No, Marvel 2-in-1 was amazing, and it is a Ben-centric book.
Yes.
It's about Ben. I'm mad that they've introduced another gal to flirt with Ben, when they could reintroduce Fiona Fitzhugh, who should be the girl he talks to, and she has a boyfriend. And you could actually have a nice platonic relationship between a super smart female and Ben Grimm, and explore that.
Platonic doesn't sell. Sorry, buddy.
I like platonic relationships in stories because it's about people who are just trying to do stuff and get things done. Not everything is about sex.
Yeah, you're right. Sex is about power. Hello. Sorry.
No, I'm not denying that. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry.
But also, Fiona Fitzhugh to get a little more play. She's clearly a super genius in the Marvel universe. She was working at Empire State University. She was the Reed Richards Scholar.
I was going to say, bring her in as the brain of the team until Reed comes back.
Yeah, I like her, man. Fiona Fitzhugh. And this girl that's at the thing, honestly, the whole freaking, I'm too cool and gothy for you. It's like, I don't want that character again. You know what? We have Raven on Teen Titans Go. That's enough for that character.
Only one
okay. We don't need another gothy misanthropic character. I want a character who's actually just a nerd basic, who's like, no, I like science and I'm doing science now. And yes, she's dating the Gibbon. And yes, the Gibbon is not a cool character. But if nothing else, it just gives you a great tie-in for every woman who's ever dated a deadbeat dude. You know? And the Gibbon's actually like, yeah, I'm a nice guy, but I don't have job prospects because I'm a Gibbon. I just want more Fiona Fitzhugh. It's just such a cool character. It's a cool name. And
that's what fanfic is, my friend. Just write it to your heart's content. That's how I cope now.
I don't know, man. Yeah, write more fanfic. Because that's what the millennials want these days. Millennials and
that's the millennials. They can do better than the executives.
I'm just saying. Something to it. Look at sorry, the Mortal Instruments fandom, but you know what I'm talking about. That's your shit.
I gotta write my Lightning Fist McQueen. Oh, sorry, Lightning Fist McCool.
Lightning Fist McQueen.
Anyway, before I jump into DC,
so I had a story that I was going to write for Marvel back when they would they relaunched Epic, that they then immediately de-launched Epic. It was like, anyone that comes in with a concept for one of our underused characters, write it. I wrote this story for Man Mountain Marco. And Man Mountain Marco is awesome. Don't look at me like that. And it's about this guy, and the idea is that Man Mountain Marco, he's a big guy, and he used to be a boxer, but then, basically on the water, because much like Alan Moore, I've never had an original idea in my life. He takes the dive, and he never gets to get his shot at the title, and then he winds up as, the muscle for some low-level mobsters, and he works his way up as muscle, because he's really good at being muscle. And then superheroes show up, so they start giving him the powers, so it gets bulked up. But of course, supervillain powers are never as powerful as superhero powers. And then he basically winds up that he gets traded down back to Detroit. And then I have a whole story about what happens when he gets to Detroit. And that's basically the whole Man Mountain Marco pitch. And then, of course, Marvel moved on from that, and that's fine. But I rewrote it. I reconceptualized it as a pastiche character called Lightning Fist McCool. And it's basically the same idea of this guy who wanted to be something, never got there, wound up in this other world, winds up getting the superpowers, but never gets to be the top guy, but still has enough power that he can be a low-level operative, and just gets passed around, and he winds up in Detroit. He's like, cool, and then he becomes the hero. Except not really a hero, because he's still actually a freaking thug. But it's like, as George Clooney once said, he's a he may be a son of a bee, but he's not an MFing son of a bee. At the end of Dusk Till Dawn, Quentin Tarantino's best film. Fight me, nerds.
Yeah, we'll fight you on that.
You will fight me on that? Okay. Well, until the Star Trek film comes out, which I think will be Tarantino's.
What about Kill Bill?
No.
Yeah.
That was like a cliche, like, oh my God, if you were to drink for every single cliche that you saw, you'd be dead. And that's just part one. Anyway, cool soundtrack, awesome photography, but the story, awesome that he used women over 40 showing their feet, but yeah, no, I love him as a screenwriter. I really do. True Romance is my favorite story he ever wrote for a movie. Too bad they didn't let him direct. The ending would have been better.
Look at your big toe. Anyway, Lilith, you were mentioning DC Comics.
No, before I get into DC Comics, I just want to remind you guys that it's not too late to jump on the Betty of Veronica Vixen saga. Number 2 just came out. It's $4. No, it doesn't have that many ads. And I just like Betty and Veronica without Archie. Like they're a biker gang. They're taking down a rival biker gang, and they call in some reinforcements. They have a new addition to their gang. I love the artwork. I love the story. It's just, oh my gosh.
Okay, can I just stop you for 3 seconds?
What?
How are Betty and Veronica a biker gang?
This is an alternate universe kind of story, kind of thing.
In 3 seconds.
Okay. So Betty and Veronica are in a biker gang. Are they in a biker gang, or are they the biker gang?
They had their
Who else is Midge in the biker gang?
No one cares about Midge. I'm sorry.
Okay, but I'm just saying she's kind of got the muscle. If you're in a biker gang, you kind of want Midge. If I were to say Betty, Veronica, Midge, Sabrina.
This is a cute
Yes, Sabrina's in there, but Midge is pretty much. Honestly, I kind of want Midge before Betty, because I mean Veronica, you assume is.
You leave my.
Veronica, you assume is bankroll is buying everyone their bikes.
There you go.
You know, so it's like
alternate universe, and it's them together, and there's none of the boys around. I'm just like, I'm here for it. The artwork is so great.
Okay.
I'm enjoying the story.
So who else is anyone else from the Archie universe in their gang, or is it just Betty and Veronica?
Just now, the new addition that they have, they're kind of like bringing people in every issue. It seems like.
Okay,
So,
I want Midge, and I'm sorry you don't want Midge, Lilith.
I could care less. I mean, you know, I'm just saying the kids Midge ain't happening for the kids right now. This really feels like a Riverdale set. So
Here's what I'll say: Midge was created to give someone that Moose can love, because Moose was inherently unlovable, all big men in comic books. He is seen as a doofus and too large, and like poor old Bluto. No one can love him. He's only loved for what he can do and not for himself. And Midge was brought in to be the being that could possibly love a monster. And so, as a monster myself, I've always had a thing. I've always felt that Midge was important. You know, not all of us can be Archies or Reggies. Some of us grew up as Moose. That's what I'm saying. Some of us grew up as Moose, and we want to see Midge have some.
And some people grew up as Reggie. You know, whatever. There's different.
Yeah, you know, I think a lot more people grew up as Moose.
So let's talk about DC. What was the DC book that you bought that you actually liked this week, Phil?
Well, I was intrigued by a few. Of course, you know, Nightwing 35, new creative team.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
I'm giving it 3 issues. They had a good hook. Yeah, they had a good hook.
Okay, what did you think of the this new killer?
I feel like we've been there, done that, but like I said, they got a good hook. I'm gonna give it 2 more issues. The artwork was great. I just already missed him. Just how it is. Sorry.
And how about Dick Grayson's new job? Dick Grayson Cross Training Studio.
Anything to show that butt?
Doesn't he have like a stipend from the Wayne Foundation?
He's too good to take that dirty Wayne money. Charlie, I thought you would respect that. He's too good to take that dirty Wayne money.
From selling babies, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that selling babies is not the way that you want to earn your money, but the money's been earned. Those babies. All I'm saying is someone already sold those babies.
Oh, so Charlie Esser would fight Vladimir Putin, but if Putin hands him $1 million, he'll be like, "Oh, thank you, sir."
Well,
if Donald Trump handed me $1 million, I'd think, thank you, sir. Then I'd fight him. I'd say, thank you for the money. Now let's fight. You know, I appreciate the money. You know, I'm not going to say I don't want the money. Give me the money. If you say, give me the money to take a dive, I'm not going to take a dive.
If my life
but if you say, give me the money, we'll fight. I do have some pride. I'll take the money, but I'm not going to take a dive.
Okay, battling Jack Murdoch.
No, not unless Vladimir Putin's girlfriend was there and he really wanted to impress her.
Like the Seinfeld episode.
And then I'd be like, okay, dude, I'll do it for that. but I'm gonna really play it up. So she's gonna know that I'm taking a dive. Be like, oh, you have cut me to the quick.
Like the Seinfeld episode.
I am defeated. Yes. I do it in a way that everyone would know I took a dive. You know, just like who was that guy?
I think this is good, people. Tune in tomorrow night for our Christmas special.
Do we have a Christmas special? When's that airing? Because some of us weren't invited to it. So
I swear I told everybody.
You told everybody, but I didn't give I didn't get.
But I wasn't paying attention. I was plotting my fight with Vladimir. No, 7 p.m. tomorrow night.
Live right here.
That's right, with special guests Charles and Karen from the Fandom Zone podcast.
Yeah, that was the problem. Is you had another Charles on there. It's like, oh.
I thought you were Charlie. I thought your professional name was Charlie.
Yeah, his professional entertainment name.
Unfortunately, not as much because the guy who put me in a movie wouldn't let me use the name Charlie. He said Charles was a much more severe name, and I was playing a villain.
So there's a movie out there where you're credited as Charles Esser?
Yeah. IMDb. If you go to my IMDb, you'll see it. It's Blitzkrieg Escape from Solid 69.
That's the sound effects I need. Just drops of Charlie Esser from that movie.
Go ahead. Please buy it. I don't get any money for it, but please buy it.
Okay, you don't get any money for it? All right.
No, it's not expensive, and you can probably find it somewhere, I'm sure. But it's, Wild Eye Cinema, Blitzkrieg Escape from Solid 69, where you get to see the amazing Tatiana Kopp and the equally amazing Stefan Black, as well as a number of amazing other actresses. It's a Nazi exploitation film. It's really well written. It's really well edited and produced. It's got a lot of weaknesses, as any film does. It's low budget, but it's actually really fun.
Oh, we should do a live comment.
We might have to do a lockout. You read my mind. Still a little twin. Strike again.
Okay, I'm going to tell you it's not a G-rated film.
Well, we have the sound down.
It is not an R-rated film. It is probably... No, it doesn't really go to... Well, there are a couple of penises in it. So
17.
There are 2 penises in it, so it is an X-rated film. They don't do anything, but they're penises that have appeared. And once you appear a penis, once penises exist, that becomes X-rated.
That's sexist.
I know it's sexist. I don't make the rating system.
I just had to throw that out there. Sorry.
Yes. But it's really good. But there's 2 castration scenes.
Fun time had by
a lot of mutilation. It's really good. No, honestly, if you guys want to do a Blitzkrieg Escape from Solid 69, look, I can get the director on to be in the podcast if you want.
Because we could do it. Because we're not going to show the video. I mean, we'll watch it, but no one will see it on YouTube. And
okay, so if you want to do that, if you guys want to see it, so here's what I'll tell you: each of you go to Wild Eye Cinema, go get Escape from Solid 69 Blitzkrieg. Watch it. If you want to do it, I'll connect it, man. I'll get anyone you want from that film in it, because we all did it. We all, we're all professionals. We don't hide that we've been through the ringer.
Do we go down this rabbit hole, Lilith?
Yes, we must.
Please do. You'll get to see me in a very tender and loving sex scene.
Oh,
and we're not. Well, no, it's not sex. I'm missing.
There's one penis.
Sex. It's post-coital, but I get to, I think, really express my love for the person I'm with, and I think that's wonderful. And it's a very, it's a good film on a lot of levels. I'm not just saying that because I'm in it. I'm thinking that, it's not the perfect film. Like I said, it is meant to be a exploitation film.
Oh, yes.
But I think within that genre, it's actually not bad.
We're going down this rabbit hole, Phil. It's happening.
Okay.
Please do, my millennial friends. Let me know what you think. You get to see me with the mustache.
The mustache.
Is it the full-on Esser stash, or is it? I mean, it's Nazis. Is it a Hitler stash?
It's not a Hitler stash.
It's a Chaplin stash.
No, it's a standard stash because I know there was a whole issue with. I think at that point I was doing this like upside. I was doing the revert. So I think at the time I don't remember exactly, but basically it's where you. I don't know what you call it, but it's a standard mustache, but then you cut it diagonally on this side, so you have sort of an inverted mustache.
Key West butt tickler.
Hello.
I have no idea.
You know what? It is after
I never
dark.
been to Key West.
I don't know. I don't know.
So anyway, I think the best thing in DC that I read this week actually came from Wildstorm. I picked up like issues 6 through 10. 10 is the current one that came out on the 20th. So it's about Wildcat and Jackie King, and they're doing these heists for good. So I don't know.
Who's Jackie King?
Well, it's one of the Wildstorm characters. If you weren't into the Wildstorm universe before it got folded into DC, you might not be that familiar. But I think that this might be my favorite series so far.
Oh.
Yeah, post Rebirth. That's outside of course, Green Arrow. That's been the best one so far.
You didn't read the double date issue of Batman 37?
Nope. I mean, I have it, but I didn't read it. I'm not interested.
Seems like Lois.
After a double wedding, I'm not interested in a double date. Sorry.
Seems like Lois and Selena are going to become friends here maybe soon.
Hopefully, they pass the blood chill. Okay, that seems like real good.
So, Superman, who lives in upstate New York now?
He can fly though, Charlie.
I know, and
Lois and Clark.
They have room to, for God's sakes. Come on.
So they all go to Gotham. Who's watching John and Damien in this?
They're off on their own. Alfred.
They're out on patrol.
I know. I'm like Alfred. Duh.
It's
People are such bad parents.
funny you should mention
Alfred
that.
is a bad parent.
I know.
He's a bad bodyguard. Why is he the lifelong retainer of the Waynes and lets them die in Crime Alley?
Because they like rich people sometimes like incompetence. It might be a fetish. Who knows? No judgment.
I got lots of judgment, but that's okay.
Not me. Non-judgmental Breakfast Club over here.
But no, speaking of John and Damien, Super Sons of Tomorrow, Part 1 and 2, and Superman and Super Sons number 11. That future Tim Drake's back already, Lilith.
I know.
Is this like a metal thing?
Hey, what number are we at for Action Comics, by the way? I've lost count because I stopped reading, but I still have them.
I think last week 993 came out.
Okay. I can tolerate it for that much longer.
Yeah, 7 more issues, Lilith.
So you buy the $40 oversized Action 1000.
No, because I'm in it until Batman 1000, but we have to plan a special for it, obviously. So.
What, Detective Comics? Yeah.
No, so for Action Comics 1000.
Action and Detective? Okay.
See if we can wrangle Tyler finally.
Two different specials or one for both?
No, 2 different ones, because the 1000 Batman will come out
later, yeah.
Forever. Yeah.
Was it 1000 Batman or 1000 Detective?
Detective Comics.
Ugh, we've come such a long way.
No, we're a while from 1000 Batman. It's issue 37 came out this week.
I think it's been more than 30.
I know. Well, until they renumber it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Until they go all DC Legacy.
You mean, until they steal from Marvel again and go back.
Well, that Marvel stole that from them with the never mind. It's with Marvel and DC, you have to be honest that it's a give and take. Marvel has stolen from DC. DC has stolen some ideas from Marvel. It just is what it is in the ether. Respect that.
Marvel does it better than DC does.
Sometimes, but not always.
We need another.
Not an absolute. Sorry.
We need another debate episode.
I hate both companies equally, honestly, at this point. So it is what it is.
I'm just excited for the new Sabrina TV series.
The Netflix show? Really?
Oh, that's on Netflix? Good.
Yeah. It's not on CW anymore. Mm-hmm.
I think that, you know what? First off, okay, so I liked I like the original. I certainly love Melissa Joan Hart. I think I'm going to give another Sabrina show another shot.
It's absolutely ripe for a retelling. I won't deny that, but I don't know. I mean, I'll watch probably the first episode, the pilot. If I don't like the ambiance and the atmosphere, I won't. Usually, I give a show 3 episodes, but in this case, it'll probably just be the pilot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be like that horror vibe, but not kind of thing. It's like you can't really straddle that world. I don't enjoy straddling that world of horror.
I think horror comedy is a very easy universe to straddle. I think if nothing else, Get Out told us that horror and comedy are very tightly wound.
I guess it depends on the writer's room, and we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe we'll get, whichever one did Get Out, Jordan or Key or Peele. I still have no idea which one is, and depending on which universe I am in, it's one or the other.
Charlie King.
I have Trump has become president. So I literally don't know what universe I'm in. So
yeah, well, that's the thing is that, see me, I like switch between universes like 6 times a day. And so every time I
see vibration going on there, Charlie.
Basically, well, no, I'm very, I've always had that problem. I've always been a guy who flips between universes.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure all of my other doppelgangers are in the same spot. Where we're always like, oh, this is the universe where this is this state. Okay. Because it's like, every single, when I was a kid, it was like, oh, that's not what I remember to be the case. Okay. And then I'll remember that new thing, and then it'll be like, no, it's the thing you remembered before. It's like,
dude, I
just went through this, man. I accepted the new universe, and now you've put me into another universe. It's like, every time. Every freaking time.
Next episode.
Well, and for me, it's always the pennies. It's like the 1941, 1943, 1945 penny, which is the rare one.
Oh.
And it's like, I will find one, I will look it up. It's not the rare one. It's like, okay, it's not the rare one. I put it in my thing, and then like later I find what is supposed to be the rare one. I find it, and I was like, no, it was actually the one before. That was the one that what it was. It's like, oh, well, I don't have that one anymore because I'm in the different universe.
Every penny you find, that's just.
So I always pick them up, man.
Leave their head side up though if you're superstitious.
No, I'm very superstitious. I always pick up pennies. I don't leave a penny to lie unless my hands are completely full. And then I say, see a penny, let it lie. Even better, you will buy. It's fine if you pick it up all that day, you'll have good luck. But see a penny, leave it lie, and even better, you will buy.
And on that note, was there anything else you'd wish to discuss, my lovely young Padawan?
Who?
You.
Oh,
that was your segue to plug your little special for Star Wars, by the way.
Oh yes, thank you, Master Lilith. Yeah. If you're watching us on YouTube or listening on the podcast, scroll down just a little bit, and there's a special on Star Wars: The Last Jedi by myself and Tyler Patrick.
And the elusive Tyler Patrick.
I enjoyed it very much.
Oh, did you? You listened to it?
Of course, I listened to it. Yes, it was very good.
You weren't worried about spoilers?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, there
are
worried
about spoilers.
Oh
no, lots of spoilers. In fact, now I know all the spoilers, so I'm very happy about it.
Okay.
Did you like my impression of you at the end? I was trying. I was still a little.
It's all good. I don't take offense. Don't worry.
If he hasn't said anything about the Ways World podcast.
Our weekly.
Don't listen to.
You miss our weekly Charlie Esser mention.
Oh yeah, because I basically figured that Deadpool, he's just a poor man's Deathstroke. So.
Did you just take Lois' point? What?
He's not interested in Deadpool. He's not for everybody.
He's making.
Well, here's the thing. I think Deadpool is cool, but it's like, yeah.
I will say Deadpool is better right now.
Tristan likes Deadpool. Tristan likes Venom. I like them both, but they're not like they're no Fantastic Four, which I still don't have.
So are we excited that with this acquisition we're possibly getting a new Fantastic Four back in circulation? Or
we might get an actual good Fantastic Four movie? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it might be a good one. I mean, I have no idea what they're going to do with it when they actually get around to it. That's my only thing with the Fantastic Four. I'm very nervous that they're going to we're the Fantastic Four that came after the Avengers. And
I know who he'd love to write it.
Well, me.
Burn.
no.
No, John Byrne wouldn't. No. First off, John Byrne doesn't write movies. So
I meant the comic.
I'm talking about the actual comic book, yeah.
Oh, I mean, bring back the comic book? Oh, that'll be fine. Whoever does it. But honestly, I think Chip Zdarsky should do it. I think Chip Zdarsky's got a good sense for it.
Yeah,
Chip Zdarsky's doing great on Marvel 2-in-1, so I'm fine with that.
Good, yeah.
And I love that because I love the fact that Chip Zdarsky, I knew him from Howard the Duck, but here he's doing something much more straight and much more beautiful. And I think that's a good thing, you know?
Yeah, because he's writing all these comedic. First it was Howard the Duck, then it was Star-Lord. Now he's on Spectacular Spider-Man. But yeah, I mean, he got deep for Marvel 2-in-1. Yeah,
well, because it's like the Orville. You know, you can be Seth MacFarlane, you can do a bunch of fart jokes, and you can make your bones that way. But you actually can write more than that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Although with Ted, I was getting a little worried.
What?
I'm sorry, what?
The Ted franchise, I was getting a little worried that he was a one-trick pony. And then he did that other movie, and it was different. So.
Well, because the thing was that they gave him $1 million to do Ted. You know, I mean that's, and they're not going to give you $1 million to do something unless you're going to do exactly what you always do.
That seems kind of low.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know,
animatronic bears aren't cheap. CGI isn't cheap.
You mean Mark Wahlberg is not cheap?
Well, I'll tell you what it is.
So I said animatronics.
Basically, Warner Brothers doesn't have Disney money.
True.
Or Fox didn't have Disney money, or anyone else didn't have Disney money. So Disney can take a loss to create a concept. You know, and that's the difference, is that Disney's at a point where they can take a loss, and they're willing to, it's Iger, right? Iger's in charge of Disney right now. He's like delayed his retirement yet again. And it's like,
I told you he's building his retirement portfolio.
No, he's actually, because the thing is, he's willing to take a loss. He's willing to say, it doesn't matter that it's like all the previous two Thors.
He's playing the long game.
Exactly. It's like, it doesn't matter that it's not like the biggest Marvel film. We'll get there. Don't worry. Don't worry. Thor's going to be bigger than anything. And then
Thor bigger than Justice League.
Thor is as big as Justice League.
Thor 3 is bigger than Justice League. Thor
I'm sorry,
3 is bigger than Justice League.
Exactly. And then it's like, you know, Justice DC fans just don't. You're not making the argument the way you think you're making your argument. And yeah, but that's the thing, is that they play the long game, and you have to play the long game if you're going to sell T-shirts.
Hear that, Warner?
They're not interested in the long game. That's their problem. They've never been interested.
But yeah, because
that's not true. After the whole Batman George Clooney fiasco, they weren't interested in the long game anymore. That's what ruined the long game for DC.
Well, it's like, don't change directions midstream. They had those Tim Burton movies, and all of a sudden it just went.
Well, you know what the problem was? Because here's what I'll tell you. I don't think Batman and Robin lost money.
Nobody killed the franchise.
Well, it ended the franchise. Didn't mean it killed the franchise.
It murdered it.
It put it into a coma. It smothered it into a coma.
Like
Yeah,
8 years
well, I mean,
ago.
yeah, Alan Dershowitz, the whole thing. There's no denying that. But what I'll say is like you can recover from that because it is genre fiction, and you can recast without having it be problematic. You can move on from there. You could even, and not for nothing, you could even tell George Clooney, "Oh, you're going to be darker this movie." And George Clooney will say, "Okay," because he's an actor, you know. You say, "Oh, we want to do it light and airy," and George Clooney's like, "Okay, yes, that's fine. I can do that." And say, "George Clooney wants you to be dark and brooding." He'd be like, "Yeah, that's fine," because he's an actor. That's literally his job.
Well, some
Is you
actors
tell him what you
better
want
than others.
Yeah, George Clooney's a good actor.
In a specific genre, yes.
As a handsome, good-looking man, yes, he's very good as a handsome, good-looking man.
Right down his alley. Everything else, coast.
Yeah, well, but Bruce Wayne is a handsome, good-looking man. Bruce Wayne is not Harvey Elder. Not a lot of nuance.
Oh, might be Harvey Elder, but his outward appearance is not. Yes, sir.
Yes. You know, but that's the thing. I think George Clooney could have done Bruce Wayne just fine and done Batman just fine. I think that Schumacher decided he really wanted to recreate the Batman 66 series, and that's fine. I like the Batman 66 series.
Too much neon.
Yeah, everything was neon then.
Yeah, but it kind of skewed though, because it was a darker universe, and then like that third movie came out, and it's like, wait a minute, the whole world seemed to change.
No, the universe was very colorful in the original Tim Burton. It had the Joker as
The
the main
characters
villain.
were colorful, but the world was it was dark.
I don't know. The main villain in the second one is a toy store owner. You know, I mean, let's be honest here. They were always playing with the 66 Batman universe. They were always playing with that over the top thematic villain universe, which is what Batman's genre is thematic villains. Villains that don't necessarily play to a specific vibe or idea.
So you didn't like the rich guy villain?
Rich guy villains are fine, but he's a toy store owner villain. You know, he's FAO Schwartz as a villain. You know, he is a, you know, the entire concept of that villain in the second one
Wrong.
is that he is a rich elite, you know, seller of whales. He's a merchant. And he is villainous, but at the same time he is actually over the top in what he does. He doesn't
That's right.
He doesn't own a company called Wayne Tech that does lots of things that no one really knows to give us some separation from
Here
it.
we go.
He's a specific type of industrialist. He's a toy man. He's not the toy man. I think Alan Moore is the guy who made the toy man a pedophile too. If I remember
It's all
correctly.
connected. Wait, sorry.
Oh my god, he's a master. He in one shot he did his weekly you know how many bat planes can feed, you know how many orphans a bat plane can feed, and he slammed Alan Moore. Bravo, sir.
The dude has a thing about, like I said, I wonder if there's some story there. Because the man really goes to that well a lot. You know?
Anyway, where were we?
I'm just saying, he goes to the well a lot, and he doesn't have a... Here's the thing about it. It's not that just that he goes to the well a lot, it's that he doesn't have a specific emotional tag for it. So you can be both the abused victim and you can be Billy Batson, who never matured and now wants to be in that situation. You know, in Twilight of the Gods story that he wrote. Look it up online. It's available online, kids. Gotta do your research sometimes for these shows. So yeah, Alan Moore, clearly this is a theme he revisits a lot. And I don't know if that reflects his life or just people he's known. You know, I've known a lot of people who've been in emotionally compromised positions, and certainly that informs stuff I write because now I know what their story is. So you don't need to actually be in it or experience it or be a part of it to know the story. You just need to hang out with people who've had that story, and now you have their stories as a writer.
Whenever we get Alan Moore, we're going to ask him where he's going to be on this podcast.
Yeah. Phil, you get these interviews all the time. Reach out to Alan Moore.
Oh, yeah, honestly.
Put that on your honey-do list, Phil.
Anyway,
when you're done editing this, please reach out to Alan Moore. Say, Alan, baby, how you been?
All right, let's wrap this up. You can lead in Alan Moore to water, but you can't make him think. All right.
No, you can't.
All right.
At least not something original.
Let's get out of here. The Shrimp and Prime Rib are calling to Lilith Hellfire. Lilith!
You guys can find me on Twitter whenever The Gifted comes back and The Flash comes back, and apparently I'm waiting forever for Legends to come back. Thank you, Black Lightning. At Lilith Hellfire. For everything else, at Adventures in FG. That's Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. At Adventures in FG. And please be sure to check out my website, adventuresinfangirly.com. Who's next?
Charlie
well, you can always write to me in an old-fashioned email way, where Miles and Paws once did, at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on the Twitters as I live tweet the last 15 minutes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tonight and various other things at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEesser. Look for the two E's in the middle for the quality.
Alrighty. As for me, yes, Alan Moore, please reach out to me. I know you're just waiting. NightwingPDP@gmail.com. On Twitter, I am at NightwingPDP. And if you want to send anything in for the Capes and Lunatics, send us your thoughts, especially, like I said, audience, Charlie Esser, tomorrow night. 7 p.m. Eastern is our Christmas special with Karen and Charles from the Fandom Zone. So check it out. We're going to be talking everything 2017. And if you watch this episode, you know we talk about everything. So email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Just pick up your phone and call us on the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. What did you love about 2017? What did you hate in humans? So, like I said, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, man. 614-382-2737. Hashtag we got bucked. All right.
Hashtag Prep Me Nerd.
Definitely. All right, everyone. For another week, this has been the Capes
and
the Lunatics.
Yeah! Good job, everyone. You deserve your TV shows and your Shrimp and Prime Rib.
Shrimps and Prime Rib.
Shrimps and Prime Rib. Shrimps and Prime. How's that song go on Teen Titans? Shrimp Rib.
Pretty much like how we just sang it. And Love as dogs. So she did. It's only something if you had human children.
The Cyborg and Beast Boy of the podcast. Charlie Esser and myself. Booyah!
Sweet. Oh, I guess you get to be Cyborg. That's fine. I'll be Beast Boy. I'm green. I'll be Beast Boy.
Hey, Mama.
I'm a Raven. Love her so.
I'm Starfire. Good night, everybody.
Join us for Christmas. Don't be a Screw.
Will do.